Good afternoon, my Dungeon Boss brethren. We're back with another Fad Friday. As promised, today we're going to talk about Kelpie. Kelpie was released in the last calendar event. Um, she is a plant. She is a water hero. Kelpie Shell. She's underwater. She's basically a carbon copy of Lily, at least in her artwork. Swap out some oak tree stuff and put in some fancy plants, water stuff, if you will, little shells, if you will. I don't know what to call it. I mean, her name is Kelpie Shells. She's a fae on a plant and a caster. Um, what else is there as of note here? Um, let's go back one click. She's a silver hero. Great if you want to try and include her in Silver League PvP. One of the best advantages right now, because she was in the last calendar event, she would have been easy, relatively easy for you to 6-star. So she'd be a good fit for Silver League. I myself don't have any 6-starred Silver Heroes. Kelpie is the only one. I reckon there's plenty of other people the same way. There's just no way for us to farm tokens. Event comes along, we farmed our tokens, now we get 6-star Kelpie. So with that said, what does that ultimately amount for us then? Um, she's not very much leveled up. I don't know what her end result's gonna be. I expect that she's gonna have a high attack. She gets the hero star bonus of 100%, so that's good. It's 500 right now at level 30. I don't know, it goes up by about 10 per, so another 50 on there, 50 times 10, another 500. It's probably going to go up to 1,000. She'll probably have a end attack around, I don't know, 2,000 somewhere. Let's just see. Somebody else, for example. Somebody that's got a high attack. Squinch has high attack. Yeah, so Squinch is 2904. So we take the 2,000 from Kelpie, and then or the 1,000 from Kelpie, maybe, and then double it. 2,000. That seems a little bit low. I probably don't have my numbers correct. So I won't know unless somebody's got a level 80 Kelpie. I don't have the XP potions to level her up. Um, she doesn't have anything else really of note on her stat sheet. She's got a skill bonus. I don't know that I really care about that. Um, no bonus to attack, no bonus to defense, and I don't know what her health is going to be like. So at first glance, I'm not terribly excited, but let's look at her native traits. So here's that waterborne. That's what we just saw. I think that's what we saw. No, that was the other one. Water proficiency is the skill one. So waterborne, immune to chilled, protects your energy a little bit, deals an additional 10% damage to fire. So basically, that's an extra elemental to fire. So she does extra damage to fire on top of her already extra damage. That's good. So from a caster standpoint, that's good to see that she can nuke some fire heroes. Downside is I don't think a lot of people are using fire heroes PvP wise. Maybe this will come into play in PvE. I don't know. It would have been nice if it was bonus damage to everybody, but um, somebody like Furnace doesn't take a ton of extra damage because of their traits. So I don't know what fire heroes we're going to see this take effect on. I do like Stacks of Foresight. Stacks of Foresight help with any team going against Rayla, for example. Truth be told, I do not anticipate Kelpie being used in Open League. There's literally no reason to use her in Open League. Open League is ruled by the light team right now. There's no reason to try and challenge that. Certainly not with her. Even at 6 stars, one stack of Foresight is not going to help against a fully stacked light team on defense. And then this one here, I don't know about skill for her, why we would need anything skillful unless she's got a self heal. We'll figure that out in just a second. And this is one of those instances where she is her own ally, so she gets that 10%. So all things considered, out of the box, she is uneventful. Her first ability, Strangling Seaweed. Ranged magical attack on all enemies for a number. Exhausts on hit, and silence on crit. I don't like the extra on crit. Exhaust is great though, and it does have a self heal for 50% of the damage dealt. And then it adds a stack of growth, which we don't have growth natively. Even as a plant, she needs a trait, I think, to actually have growth, but she would get the stack of growth from this ability. So it's only one stack. It's not like it's game breaking or anything like that, unless she's going to be paired with other people that work on the plant growth. First Ascension is rather cheap. It's got a simple crystalline evo. 8621. That's basically, I mean, silver hero, so not overly expensive. Um, see what her artwork looks like. She gets a little bit of a decoration across her head, and her wand is a little bit nicer. Um, Traits. She added magical protection, 25% less damage from magical attacks. I'll take it. There's a lot of magical attacks out there, and that is global. And 25% is basically the max. Just global mitigation you can get. So that's always a good value, though. For a caster, I mean, we're glad that she's not slow. I don't know if she's going to crank out a ton of damage, and hopefully that a little bit of magic protection saves her a little bit. But second ability, Adaptive Blast, gains elemental advantage based on the target enemy's element for 3 turns. Now, this is something I had mentioned many, many years ago that I thought would be an excellent skill. Sort of like I treated it sort of like a white element where the person would absorb an element of a particular opponent or something like that, where you could gain an elemental advantage. So this is actually pretty neat. So in this case here, you could attack some element and you could get the advantage. That's pretty cool. So you gain that elemental advantage for 3 turns, and then it makes a ranged attack on them for a number. Starts powered too, so neat thing about this, I know we're not going to use this against a Rayla team, but using this against a Rayla team because you could gain dark advantage without having the light disadvantage coming back at you is pretty cool. But I don't think she can pump out the damage to survive against a light team. She probably wouldn't even get out of the first round without starting with like some oak form like Lily starts with. But that is a very cool effect. I'm glad that they added that in there. Um, I would like to see that in effect. That's going to make her usable in any dungeon, really, because you'll be able to gain that advantage without simultaneously grabbing the disadvantage. So, pretty cool thing. And I love that it starts powered. 5-turn cooldown, though, that's not so bad. 6-turn cooldown on the first one. Um, all right, the last ascension, 8642. Because she's silver, again, a very cheap ascension. Nothing too critical there. Artwork looks like just a couple of extra things to adorn her, if you will. Extra ability that she gets is Aquatic Advantage. This character's attack, defense, max health, and skill is increased by 4% for each other, so she's not her own water ally here. So are you going to use a full water team? Yeah, there's the Aquatic Advantage, just showing that it's not going to calculate it until someone else is there. Um, there are some advantages to using water teams. You could certainly make a case for one in Silver PvP League. That is definitely possible with so many people using Rogar and Ignis out there. I guess those are the water heroes or the fire heroes we're targeting. She might have a good fit in there. You could use her with Yasmin for sure, Sir William, and then maybe a +1. You need some other damage dealer. Thinking maybe Grognog. He might actually be two. He's probably not silver, so I'm not sure who the fourth would be, but certainly plausible there. Her third ability, Algae Wash, is cleanse a debuff from allies, and then range magical attack on everybody for a number, and it steals a buff. Stealing the buff presumably just goes back to her, but it removes a debuff. Does not start powered, so this is going to be several turns in. Um, Ultimately, as far as the damage goes, the AoE damage is less than a basic attack, so the further along in the match, the worse this actually gets, unless you're stealing a great buff or um, honestly, I mean, purging purging the debuff. What are you gonna do if you're silenced? You can't use it, so that's the most critical one out there. Maybe getting rid of something like chilled or frozen might be handy, or stunned. But again, if you're stunned, you can't use it. If you're frozen, you can't use it. She's immune to chill, I think. Yeah, but she can still be frozen, I think. So while on paper that looks like a good ability, I don't know. She has to be free and clear as it is, and then she could help everybody else. The damage output on this is not going to be anything to write home about. Her other attack, this is her big attack. It's just over 2,000 or 2 times. So this is her stereotypical or prototypical 2.5x attack. And the other one is just over the basic as well with the self heal. So her first ability, I think, is probably going to be her marquee attack because of the self heals. But even that, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but it does put exhausted on there, and it gives the stack of growth. Um, Aside from that, rather uneventful. Like I said, I like the adaptive blast. So I think what it's going to come down to is it's going to come down to determining a team that she can fit on. If you're not putting her with other plants, I just don't think growth itself is going to do anything. So I feel like you'd probably have to put her on a team with maybe somebody like Meyer. I think Meyer's a plant. Meyer at least has growth. Can almost guarantee it. It's a spirit. Thought he does growth though. No, he does inspired. Why is it a tree? That is. I always saw the tree and I assumed that that was plant growth. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't use Meyer. You can see Meyer's unascended. I keep Meyer unascended because I like to have one bad hero so that I can come out here and look at the Evo menu until they add the Evo menu in there. Meyer's my sacrificial lamb. I'm not going to use him or her as a healer, but so overall assessment of Kelpie. Like I said, your best advantage with Kelpie is that she was easy to 6-star. If you didn't 6-star her now, just plan on discarding her for the most part, unless you're very new to the game and you got her up to like 5 stars, for example, just with the storylines. Then she might pan out nicely for you, but all things considered, I think she'll be just one of those heroes that's a sidekick, if you will. When you ultimately need an all-water team for some other, quest or something like that, she might fit the bill. Or beat a dungeon with only plants, she might fit the bill there. I don't think she's going to get a lot of usage. I personally am not going to use her for a very long time unless I have to. I like her second ability, but I don't have XP potions to justify bringing her up to level 80 just so that I can see how fun that one ability is. Because I know what it's going to do. It's going to give me an elemental advantage that does 30% extra damage. Big whoop. It's just not going to do anything, spectacular. Um, so assessment of Kelpie is she's just kind of and we have to have that. We have to have some heroes that are just not everyone can be game breaking, not everyone can be legendary or gold or have the coolest traits. Some people are just meant to be team players, and I think she's meant to be part of a team. Um, right now, with everybody being able to get every hero, she's going to fall to the sideline because there's not going to be any instances where, oh, I got Kelpie, but I don't have someone else, or I have Kelpie and somebody else doesn't have Kelpie. It's not going to go down like that. Everyone's going to have her, and presumably within, call it 3 or 4 months, everybody would have her storyline done too. So 5 stars, she's nothing to write home about. So if you have a use case for Kelpie, aside from pairing with Lily, Lily's legendary, so you're not using her in silver PvP. Um, I'd like to see what your silver PvP team is with her, but I'm not going to be able to test that or pilot it for quite a while. until XP is a little bit easier to get. Anyways, that's all that I got for today. Like I said, if you have any ideas for Kelpie and you've seen her used to success, I've seen her in PvP and stomped her, so um, would be open to hearing what your suggestions are. Otherwise, I thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching, and remember, I make YouTube videos for the American working man, because that's what I am, and that's who I care about.